plan that he shares with the UN and the global elite, like the World Economic Forum and the IMF, to get to net zero by 2050. Editor, let's cut to the internet.
Gates has released a new book detailing his plan to get to 0 tons called How to Avoid a Climate Disaster, the Solutions We Have, and the Breakthroughs We Need. His breakdown of how we get to 51 billion tons of greenhouse gases each year puts goods production, as well as generating and transmitting electricity, at the top. The rest is divided among transportation, raising animals, forestry, and temperature control systems. Last year, Gates suggested the US should create a National Institutes of Energy Innovation to help the country take the lead in climate change innovation. But at the same time, he acknowledges that whatever developments come from the US have to be affordable for other countries to actually implement. And the US accounts for 14% of global emissions, so even if it managed to get to 0 carbon emissions, there'd still be a long way to go. In a recent interview with Forbes, Gates says he has put $2 billion of his own money towards companies working towards 0 emissions. Two of the more well-known ones he's backed are Impossible Foods and Beyond Meat, both dealing with plant-based meats. His biggest bet has been on TerraPower, a nuclear power company with a reactor that uses depleted uranium as fuel. The company had been planning on building its first reactor in China, but the deal was blocked by the US government. Now the plan is to build a demonstration plant somewhere stateside, and the company received $80 million to do so from the Department of Energy. The other half will come from the private sector, mostly Gates himself. He's also created a fund called Breakthrough Energy Ventures and has investors such as Jeff Bezos, Vinod Khosla, John Arnold, and John Doerr putting in money towards 0 carbon companies.
So again, notice, they're not talking about increasing the amount of energy we have. They're talking about replacing the existing energy that we have. They're talking about renewables or green energy replacing nuclear, gas, oil, coal, and biofuel. So since they're talking about replacing the existing energy sources and not increasing them, this would imply that if we have continued population growth, that you are going to need to consume less. And this is where we start getting into why the global elite want you to be poor. Step number 2. Now we need to dive deeper into the relationship between energy, the population, and GDP. Maybe more important.